welcome yogis to Sunday morning flow class, kind of easy breezy flow class. We're going to start with a few sun salutations, and then I'll give you some options for scaling it back or scaling it up as you like. So starting at the top of your mat, in my case it's a circle, so there's like I can make anything a top, but if you're using a mat you probably have a rectangle. And then just pause in mountain pose. So I like to start with just kind of shaking everything out. Turn the toes forward because that's not the normal way that I stand. So it sort of brings awareness to my hips and my legs. And then if I take my tailbone and imagine that I grew a big kangaroo tail, dinosaur tail out of my tailbone, that sort of encourages me to do a little bit of a core movement there. I'm not scooching my tailbone under, I'm just allowing myself to sort of feel a little connected. And then spread out the toes. You might even rock back and forth on your feet a little bit, kind of feel your relationship to the floor or the earth, whatever you're standing on. And for me, when I do that, my shoulders automatically kind of drop back and I can relax the arms. Some people prefer to rotate the arm out, which to me makes me kind of thrust my chest and ribs forward, and that feels like a kind of an unnecessary armoring, but you do your thing. I'm going to try really hard as I do this not to smack the furniture. So if you're in a tight space, you can keep your arms a little more tight together rather than go out to the side. So we're going to take a nice big breath, reach up nice and tall, exhale, fold forward. Now, come up halfway, and you can put your hands on your shins or your thighs. What you're looking for is to kind of almost open the chest and create almost a baby cobra sort of sensation. And then fold, and we're going to step back with the right foot, or whichever foot you want to start with, and pause in that lunge, and then we're going to step back into a plank. Now, I'm going to modify my plank by doing the knees first, and then chest and chin to the floor. You can lower down into chaturanga, coming into cobra. So pause here, we're going to take 3 breaths. I'm going to look over one shoulder, and then another shoulder, and then one more breath. And then we'll come on back to dog. And then from down dog, we're going to take that right leg up and step it forward. And try not to step on any persons. And then come up and look up. And then we're going to step forward with the other foot right into that halfway mark. And then fold. And come all the way up to standing. And return to mountain pose. And I like to bring my hands to my heart for this one. And then inhale, come up, exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, hands to the floor, step back with your left foot. Look up, step back with your right foot. Find your knees, chest and chin, or your chaturanga. And then come to cobra or up dog this time. And come on back to down dog. And then we'll take that left leg up and step it forward and look up, and then right into that halfway bend, and then all the way, and then up, and return to mountain pose. So we're going to do one more of those on each side. Nice big inhale, exhale, fold, inhale halfway, step back with the right, hold, back with the left, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Taking it back to down dog. Right leg goes up. Step it forward. Look up. Coming right into that halfway. Fold. All the way to standing. And then, return to mountain. And one more time. Big inhale. Exhale, fold. Coming up halfway, stepping back with the left foot, stepping back with the right foot, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, cobra, coming back to dog, left leg goes up, step forward, look up, okay, right into that halfway as best you can, fold over, come all the way to standing, and then return to mountain. Take a breath. Let go with an ah. So come to chair pose. So you're gonna kind of sink back, take your hips back. You can bring the hands to your heart. You can project the arms forward. You can keep them up. Take one more breath here. Exhale, fold forward. Come up halfway. Now, I'm gonna step back into dog and do a kind of dancey dog. You might wanna step back or even hop back and do the chaturanga up dog and then come back to down dog. So that's where you can take it up a notch or follow along with me to keep it a little more gentle. And so we're gonna just dance our dogs for a second while our friends do their vinyasa. Shoulders, crashing sounds. All right, take a nice big breath, reach your right leg up behind you. We're gonna sink into this left heel. We're gonna bring that right knee in and hug, and then take it back and stretch, and bring it in and hug, and take it back and stretch. Oh, and then we're gonna bring it forward and bring it into a warrior two. So, when you get here, take a moment, settle in with your legs. And then let's do some little arm circles, little teeny ones or bigger ones. You can turn the thumbs to different directions. Go the other direction. And then shake the arms out. And we're gonna come back to reverse. We're gonna take this to a side angle. Oh, come back to reverse. Take it to a side angle. And when you do the side angle, push down with your foot, lift through your inner thigh, and stretch out of that shape. And then one more time, coming back. And we'll take the hands all the way down. Now we're gonna step back to down dog. You might step back to a plank and add your vinyasa in there. And then if you are holding dog with me, then you might just feel how that leg might be a little different than the other one. And then we'll take that left leg up and bring it forward. Oh, hug it in. Take it back. Oh, bring it forward. Oh, hug it in. Take it back and really stretch. Oh, I don't know why my voice changes, but it does. And then step yourself into your warrior two. Oh. Jiggle yourself in. Make sure the floor's not too slippery. And then bring your arms up. So we're just gonna snake the arms. Let's get some movement going in the shoulders. Oh. Shake them out. Oh. And then come back to reverse. And over to side angle. Oh. And back to reverse. And over to side. And one more time, back to reverse. Over to side angle, pause and really reach into it. Oh, and then we'll come back and take it to dog. And you can take this dog, again, through the vinyasa, or pause and jiggle it out. Excuse me. Oh. Oh. Okay. So nice big breath, right leg goes up. We're gonna hook that thing up over the back a little bit. If you've got room, you can drop it to the ground and flip your dog upside down. And then we'll step this guy forward. When you get there, come all the way up. All right, now, I'm back in my warrior two, but I'm gonna take this into a triangle, so I just wanna adjust the footing, because I like a little shorter for triangle. Come to warrior two, come to triangle, and then back to reverse, and triangle. And then one more time, we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna come to that triangle and stay a bit. And so you can find a triangle that works best for you. There's no one way to do it, but feel. Feel the length that you're creating on your side waists, both inside, on the top side and on the bottom side. You know, play with the way the legs are positioned and supporting you. I like to spread my toes out, jiggle myself into place. I'll take 2 more breaths here. And then we're gonna take that back to dog. So, you can throw in your vinyasa, or groan a lot, as the case may be. Jiggle it around. See how it feels. Oh, all right, here we go. Left leg comes up, and we hook it over the back. Sink into that right heel if you can. Oh, that feels so good. And then we're gonna step that thing forward. If you flipped your dog, clearly you should come back and then step forward, and you'll figure it out. So find your warrior two, little change if your triangle like mine is a little shorter, and then come back to reverse, and into triangle, back to reverse, bend that knee, into triangle. And one more time, back to reverse, and then we'll come to triangle and stay a bit. And again, add props if you've got them. Incidentally, if you don't have yoga blocks at your house, you can use lots of different things. So maybe you have a stock pot that is about the right height for you. You can put that on the floor. They're a little clunkier than yoga blocks, but they work. Explore the pose. Take 2 more breaths. And then we're going to come on back. And either the vinyasa or your downward dog. And find yourself just feeling and exploring that pose. All right. So we're going to take a nice big breath. Lift this right leg up. We're going to step this guy forward. And then some people may want to do this as a high lunge with the knee off the ground. And I'm going to take the knee to the ground. And then once I get here, because there's a lot of soft surfaces, my knee doesn't necessarily need support. You might need support. But what I do find is that the soft surfaces sometimes make my kneecap kind of jiggle around. So I like to find the right spot for me. And then we're going to go just a little out of the pose and a little into the pose. And a little out of the pose and a little into the pose. Good, and a little out of the pose. And a little in. So we're going to pause right here. We're trying to feel just the beginning of stretch right here on the front of the hip. You can add more back bend. You can extend the arms to create more of a crescent. If you want to add a bit of a twist to it, you can do that. If your leg is off the floor, you have a little less, like you want to stay stable, so hug everything in. But if your knee's on the ground, you can go a little wider with the legs. Take one more breath here. Now we're going to take a moment as we exhale to let the hips come back and just pause for a second. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit this right side all the way down to the ground on the right side of this heel, okay? Now that's not right for everybody. Some people have some knee issues. So if that's the case, then what I would suggest is come to all fours, swing your legs out, and then when you sit down, instead of having your leg like this, you can put your leg out like that, okay? So we're going to settle it down, theoretically. You've chosen appropriately. And I like to take this leg and kind of swing it open. So this is called the gate pose or gate latch pose. And you can do it with this leg. If this foot comes in tight against your hip, you can bring that in tighter. And so we've kind of shifted ourselves a little bit on an angle. And we're going to do a side stretch here. So I'm going down the inside of this leg. You can put your elbow on your leg if it's available. If you've got some pillows or a yoga block, you can use that instead. So we're going to open up this side. And we want almost a little rainbow of a spine, right? So we want a side stretch, side bend. So we're flexing into. And then some of us will get deeper. Some of us will be more shallow. It's all the same. And so as I'm bent over, and my body weight wants to shift with me this way, naturally, that's where most of it is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach through this leg. So I'm going to open it a little bit more because I've got some space to do that. And then I'm going to push down into my leg as I'm reaching out through my upper body. So it's almost that same action we were doing in side angle, except now I'm on the ground. And my leg is in a little bit different position, clearly. There's some changes. Some people can come all the way over here and find their toe. Mine's a little too far away. So 2 more breaths here. And then inhale your way up. And we're going to undo this and bring it all the way around. so that we can take this leg and up and over. So you can either do it like that, or you can do it like this, okay? We're gonna keep this knee up. You're gonna lean back, get tall, twist, and then come back up. And some people can get their elbow on the outside of that knee, and some of us are gonna hold on with one hand. We're gonna get really tall, turn as best your twist can make you, or as much as you can twist. Let me get the words right. And then this leg that's out here in front, we're gonna turn that on and turn the toes up and get nice and tall. You can look out over your shoulder, or you can look out this way. Now here's the thing. So lately I've been doing a lot of this because we have lymph nodes right here in our upper brow, lymph nodes right under here, under our cheekbone, and the path for the lymph to drain comes down the side of the neck like this. And so if you can kind of stretch this skin out, it's not a deep sensation, it just kind of feels like you're stretching your skin, because those pathways lay right under the superficial fascia. I just kind of, I let my head loll back, so it's going the opposite way of the twist, so I can get that feeling of stretch right there on that skin. So take 2 more breaths, just like a little pump for the lymphatic system, just gets it moving. And then we're gonna bring the head back, bring the torso back, give everything a bit of a shake. Now, if you want a vinyasa, you pull it together, roll over your legs, jump back into chaturanga. If you want to be fancy, do your up dog, do your down dog, and then we're gonna do the other lunge. I'm just gonna go back to all fours and then back to down dog and give myself a chance to check out what I just did. So you guys do your vinyasa, or you can follow me, because I like to feel like, is one side of my body different? I can feel the difference in my shoulder, in my jaw, all the way up that side. I can't describe the difference per se, it just feels different. Okay, so we're gonna take this other leg up. We're gonna step it forward, and then we're gonna come to the lunge of your choice, whether it's a high lunge or a low lunge. And you can kind of find the right spot for your knee so that things don't feel abusive. And then we're gonna come up to that crescent shape and just really subtly take it back and bring it forward, just so we find that edge of the stretch and then back off of it. Because I'm looking for the very beginning, just right, do I just begin to feel the stretch? And then take it to your crescent. If you want to do the arms up, whoop. Or if you're feeling wobbly today, you can keep your arms down and just have that back be your crescent pose. Let's do 2 more breaths right here, just feeling this kind of lengthening in the front belly. And then you'll take yourself to your lower position, or settle back, just like that. Or you can do, I think you could do a little bit more, that Jani Shavasana, that leg brought around. Now I'm going to turn myself all the way around so that you can see the front rather than the back. And then I'll come back to the shape. And again, do the leg shape that works best for you. Open that up if there's room. We're going to take advantage of the fact that our pelvis is kind of turning us this way to get into this side bend. And maybe it feels really good to have the arm up and over. Maybe it feels better to have the arm behind your back. If you've got some shoulder strain, that might feel nice. Let your side of your neck come into the stretch. If you need head support, put your hand in there. And then again, all of my body wants to go this way, right? Because that's where the gravity has taken me. But instead, I'm going to ground and kind of stretch back through that leg so that I feel this stretch in this front hip again. 2 more breaths. And then we're going to come up. We're going to bring that leg around, and you can either cross it over or leave it up front. We're going to lean back, sit up tall, twist, and then come back in, and maybe the elbow or maybe the hand goes around. Once I get myself tall and I've got a nice positioning on this leg, then I turn that long leg on. And again, I'm going to turn my head this way and kind of let it lean back, just so I continue with that lymphatic drainage. I'm doing a little extra moves for lymph these days. And I'll show you another little face yoga move in just a second. Because the lymphatic system is not the only thing that controls our immunity. We have lots of elements, the gut flora and the mineral balance, and just so many things go into immunity. But lymph is definitely one of the ways that our body helps bring itself to health. And so if we can do a little extra love, I don't think it hurts. So we're going to bring my head back, and I'm going to bring my torso back, and then I'm going to unwind that leg. Now, this is where you could throw in another vinyasa if you want to. Rather than do that, I'm just going to pause right here and notice the way that my body might feel a little different. Now, we're going to do a seated forward bend, and you can do a butterfly forward bend where you put your feet together. Back up a little bit because I think the camera sees better in the middle. So you can do this shape, you can do this shape, you can bring the legs closer together. Just do something that's the same on both sides. I'm going to do the V shape today because I did the butterfly yesterday. So the way that I do this is I do like get a little sit bone out from under you, get a little sit bone out from under you. Just kind of snuggle yourself forward. And then for some of us, the pelvis doesn't actually tilt forward in a shape like this. The pelvis tilts backwards, and if that's you, then letting yourself just get length might be fun, or you can really go for a rounded spine. It's different shape. You just want to make sure it doesn't feel like it's hurting you. If you feel anything that's like a kind of dull ache, or there's a heat sensations are ones that we really want to pay attention to, because that is really subtle damage that we're doing to the tissue that it's trying to protect. So, and I don't mean the like sweaty heat, I mean like it feels like your joint is burning. That's always a sensation we want to be careful with. So if this is feeling okay, we're going to pause. If you don't like the shape you chose, pick another one. And see if you can let your head fall forward. And if you're in a space where you have enough props or you have the right amount of flexibility to do it, you can put your head down on a surface, whether it's the floor or a stack of pillows, and roll the forehead a little bit back and forth just to kind of lubricate the neck. And I don't stay still per se. I just try not to fidget in yoga poses. If I find myself fidgeting, it means that I am doing something that my nervous system doesn't like. Hey, sweet girl. If, however, I just do this little like shift my weight this way, check that out. Shift my weight this way, check that out. That is a much more conscious movement, right? So I'm not fidgeting, I'm exploring, and that is encouraging. I encourage you to do that. Because that, I think, is what makes poses really juicy and good. So we're going to take a big breath and come on up out of here. All right, so then you're going to take a pose that feels like a comfortable seat to you. First, I'm going to lean back, do a little bit of movement. Kind of rinse out that shape. And then find a comfortable seat. Now, I'm going to show you this little face massage. You should probably wash your hands first. I washed my hands right before I started here, and the only thing I've touched is myself and this yoga mat, and it hasn't left the house in weeks, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. But you know, if you've been outside or you touched doorknobs that maybe delivery people have touched, clearly stop the video if you're watching this online, and or just go wash your hands, whatever you need to do. So I'm just going to use my middle finger and my ring finger. My index finger is a little too pushy for this, so I use this. You're going to go up right where your eyebrows are together, right there in the center, and then go across the top of your eyebrow. And just, it's a gentle pressure. It's like when you want to see, is this peach ripe at the grocery store? Just do that little bit of thumb pressure, and that's what you're doing. So you go up, go across. Okay? We're going to do that about 6 times. Go up and go across. And you might, some days, you might be able, especially if you have allergies, you might be able to feel those little lymph nodes right there above your eyebrow. There's just like a slight pebbly feeling. And that's what we're doing. We're just massaging those. So that might have been 6, but let's do one more. Okay, so that gets me started. So now I'm going to do this pathway. So there are lymph nodes that tuck in right under the cheekbone in this area right here. So you're just going to go kind of where your cheekbone starts up here at the apple, and you're just going to massage under the cheekbone up to your ear. So under the cheekbone up to the ear. Do that about 3 more times. And sometimes with this one, because I have some scar tissue in a cheek from a horse riding accident, sometimes with this one I have to do like a little bit of a jiggle. So if you're feeling like the skin is a little resistant, you can do that little kind of just up and down jiggle. It does work. Okay, so now I've moved lymph from these 2 places to here, and I'm gonna chase it down my neck so that I can get to these really big ducts that live under here. To do that, I'm gonna make a little sweeping motion like this with my hands. So I'm gonna go sweep, 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 all the way down the side of my face, all the way down my neck to my collarbones. So just sweep, 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 like that. I'll do that twice more. And sometimes I can kind of feel when it's done. Like there's a sense, I don't know, there's just a shift in sensation. You may or may not be able to feel that. Then tap your collarbones, this area, just to settle things in. And while we're at it, tap the middle of the breastbone. That's where your thymus lives. Ooh, kind of turn on that part of your endocrine system. Okay, now we have enough time to do a breathing practice and then Shavasana before this meeting runs out. The breathing practice we're going to do today is sometimes I call it square breathing, because we're going to inhale for a certain number, hold for that same number, exhale, hold for that same number, and go up. Now you need to pick a number that works best for you. I'm going to go for 6. Some people can do 8. Some people want to do 4. So you're going to exhale all your air out. Then inhale for a count. Let's try 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If that feels like too much, stop at 4 next time, and then hold it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to try to hold out all the air out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Choose your count. Hold for that count. 6, 5, 4. Exhale for the count. Hold out for the count. Inhale for the count. Do one more round. Take a big breath. Exhale out of sight when you're done. So now for Shavasana, you can do either a seated meditation pose, and then this is my favorite mudra generally. It's called the mudra of calm abiding. You just put your palms down on your knees. You can also do a palms up mudra. So I do this one when I want to get centered into myself. This helps me. When I am feeling like I want to open myself to the world, I do the palms up. And so that depends on how you're kind of feeling about it, or you can join me in stretching out on the floor. So let yourself unwind. Do a couple moments of windshield wipers or back massage. Now this meeting is going to end itself at some point, you guys. It'll just cut us off. So at that point, you can go about your day, or if you're just ready to go about your day, because Shavasana is not what you want to do on Sunday morning, that is fine too. Stretch out your legs, stretch out your arms. Take a big breath and then exhale out a big sigh. I can't emphasize enough how important vocalizing is. to helping our nervous system relax. The vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the parasympathetic array of nerves, it travels all the way through the body. It goes through our throat where the vocal cords are. It goes through the stomach and the intestines, the liver. So it just wanders all around. And it is responsible for about 70% of our ability to get into that relax and rest nervous system. And so just doing that sometimes is helpful. And then you can also sing in the shower from time to time. Just let yourself relax. For those yogis that are heading out to do Sunday brunch in their kitchen, going to Kitchenopolis to go to the best restaurant in town, I bid you adieu and thank you and namaste. And for those of you that are hanging out with me until the meeting stops, you can just stay as long as you want. Just relax deeply into this shape. And then I'll go ahead and end my video here. So I'm going to roll to my side, push myself up. You could just pause the video if you're watching on YouTube and hang out for as long as you want and then come back. Thank you for joining me on Sunday morning. Namaste, yogis.